I just think it's so funny how James Cameron had 13 years to put out Avatar 2, and he decides to put it out a month after Wakanda Forever, which also involves blue people in a community underwater. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today our movie in the middle is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Black Panther Wakanda Forever follows T'Challa's mother Ramonda and sister Shuri as they deal with the Black Panther's passing in the face of a new underwater threat called Namor. It stars Angela Bassett, Letitia Wright, Tenoch Huerta, Danai Gurira, Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Dominique, Thorne, Martin Freeman, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So now that it's winter again, you may have all noticed that my lighting has been shit in the last couple of videos because I don't have daylight anymore, and I also am not here during the day because now I work full time. So I went out and bought myself a ring light in April. I got it in April. I just kind of forgot to set it. I didn't know how to set it. Shut up. But I got it set up now, and I look like an official YouTuber with the demon eyes and everything. But yeah, it still doesn't look the best. I gotta figure out. But please, come on this journey with. I invite you to come on this journey with me as I figure out how to light my own shit 3 years into a YouTube channel. But getting into Wakanda Forever, so I think the big point of debate going into this movie was whether or not they should have recast Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, and personally, I think it's a good thing that they didn't, because one, I feel like it would have cheapened just his performance, not his performance, but just the fact that he is Black Panther to so many people, overall, just by recasting him and being like, oh, now we have another guy in the role, when he is Black Panther. But my other reason, and it is sort of opposite of that, but it kind of goes along with it, is that in the movie, the Black Panther is not only just a person, but it is an idea. It is the symbol of hope and strength for the community of Wakanda, the city of Wakanda. And, I think that just recasting him would have just been easy. Here, it's like now the community has to come together in the passing of the Black Panther to become stronger. And yes, maybe come up with another Black Panther. Maybe the mantle can be passed on. But really, it's about Wakanda. It's about the people. And that's always been the big thing about Wakanda is its people and its strength in numbers. And so I think that having them move on was just a better way to go with it, especially because Phase 4 after Endgame has all been about not only the multiverse, but a lot of the grounded stuff has been about moving on past stuff, past death, past, for us as the audience, past, well, what do we do now? We got this big arc and it wrapped up nicely. Where do you go with this? Life just moves on. And I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I liked the fact that they did not recast him. But getting into the highs of the movie, I think the biggest just is the acting from everybody. You can tell how passionate they are about this idea, this movie, this story, these characters. You can tell how much it means to them. And they are just putting their all into it. Angela Bassett in particular did an amazing job. She really was front and center for a lot of this and killed it. Having Chadwick Boseman not be there kind of made room for a lot of these people to come in and be front and center that we didn't think would. And Angela Bassett just really, really killed it emotionally. But then Letitia Wright as Shuri did an amazing job as well, because now she's actually kind of the main character, sort of. She is the one who was kind of pushed forward, and we never would have gotten that, I don't think. She probably would have remained like a kind of back character a little bit. But yeah, I think it was cool to see her not just in the lab doing cool Shuri stuff, but in the field and having deep emotions and having to actually deal with stuff. I thought that was really cool. I also did think that Namor, I can't remember exactly how to say it, but I thought that he was a great villain, actually. I think he's one of the better ones we've had, because I do like how this one was more grounded, and so the villain is more so, it's like an antagonist. There's actual reasons behind what he's doing. It's not just like Thor Love and Thunder, where it's like, oh, he's the creepy villain guy. But here it's like they're trying to resolve things peacefully. They're trying to have democratic conversations. Yeah, I know that's the sexy stuff you're looking for in a Marvel movie. It was good. And I liked that struggle and that like mutual trying to come to a peaceful understanding, but it's not working out. But then when he has to, he really pulls it out and he does some stuff that I'm like, damn, that was a lot. We also get Ironheart, which I think was originally supposed to be a TV show. I don't know if they're still going to do a TV show. I don't necessarily think they even need to. I guess it would be kind of cool. But honestly, this is what I like, having some of these characters where they just kind of come in and then maybe they're in it in other movies again, but we don't need their own TV show for every person. Let's get back to what it was. Like Falcon came in Winter Soldier and Black Panther came in Civil War. And I like that. It's great to have a TV show for a lot of people because then it just makes it feel more fleshed out, and when they come together, it's even cooler. But I don't think you need to do it for all of them. But anyway, Ironheart was pretty cool. We don't get too much of her, but she was pretty cool for what we got, and the suits and everything. It was just cool to see like the inside the helmet again. It's definitely not going to be Tony Stark, but I think that this is introducing like a really cool like follow-up to Iron Man that we could get if she's in it more, and I thought she did a pretty good job. But the technical stuff, I think, was some of the most impressive parts of this movie, specifically the fighting. The fighting was awesome. I mean, half of it, like I said, is more like Phantom Menace, democratic conversation, but the other half is a lot of fighting, and there was a lot. And I think that specifically has to do with the fact that the city of Wakanda itself is actually, I think, designed differently. I think it actually is more complex. It looks more like this giant utopia rather than this small little community. There was like so many more things going on, and I really liked the design of it because it made for not only just like it feeling more like this big place and this big community, but for like a cool setting for like this huge fight that was going on. I thought it was really, really cool. And technically another thing I did notice was the music. I mean, that really goes along with like all these details of the culture that they're putting into every frame of this movie, which I thought was amazing. It was fascinating to see even more, of like wardrobe and music and just rituals and things that they do in this movie that I just thought was awesome. It was really, really cool to see, but the music was definitely one of them. It was very emotional at times. It was very haunting, but then it was also very powerful and hyped up. It was really well done. And I think it was Ludwig Göransson. I think they brought him back for it as well. And I think he did The Mandalorian, if I'm not mistaken. One other small high, which I won't ruin specifically how, but they do a kind of tribute to Chadwick Boseman. They do it, I mean, a couple times, obviously, because they have to sort of address what happened. They do like a very specific one that actually one of my friends, Jared, did actually call. And you knew it was going to happen before it even was on screen, but it was very cool, very touching. I loved it. R.I.P. God, Chadwick, just loved that man. I have one small middle, and that is that at the end, the resolution to the big battle that they have it seems a little safe, a little easy. Kind of not like a cop-out, but just like a generic kind of, okay, it's over because of this. But then later on, a couple scenes later, they actually kind of explain, one of the characters explains why it happens the way that it happens. And I will say this, it does give a little bit more credit to Namor's character, because it shows just how smart he is. So I think the biggest low that most people are going to have, which it makes sense, is that the plot is sort of unnecessary. It feels very drawn out. It is 2.5 hours. I like 2.5 hours of sitting with these characters, but 2.5 hours of this plot was like, it was cool. It's like if you needed to come up with a plot, yeah, that's one that could happen. I mean, it's not like there aren't other Marvel movies in which their plot is like, it forward stuff, but not too much. This one was sort of like a side quest, but it was pretty cool. It was something I hadn't thought about, but it wasn't really necessary. Obviously, they were going to go with, I was told they were going to go with a different script. I could see, T'Challa being in this one with the same plot, but they were apparently going to go with a different plot. And it doesn't really feel that necessary. My other low actually kind of goes along with it, is that a lot of the plot has to do with the fact that T'Challa brought vibranium introduced it to the outside world in big numbers, and that causes problems with Namor and all struggles because of that. The thing is Cap's shield was made of vibranium, and that was like 80 years before this. Maybe they mean that he introduced vibranium to the world in like large numbers, like I said, like, you know, and like we will give you these resources, and then we didn't. But I don't know. It was just a weird thing to be like, you introduced vibranium to the world and now it's a problem, when it was like, it was definitely there for like Captain America and Age of Ultron. So I don't know what they're talking about. So overall, Wakanda Forever, I think, fit very nicely into this year, because we had Doctor Strange, which was the big hype one, the one that has a lot of cameos, a lot of things that we're like excited for about the multiverse. Thor was like that one-off fun, not too serious, had some good stuff, but it was mostly just for fun. This one was the grounded, emotional one, and while I think it's not going to stick with me too much, I really loved watching it. I'm very excited to see what happens with some of these characters. I don't know, it's heartwarming in like a community experience type way, and in also just like a, obviously Chadwick Boseman couldn't be here for it, but we're all kind of sitting with that as we watch it, and just remembering him and how inspiring he was as Black Panther. So it was a very moving edition. I don't think it was too necessary in terms of plot. They definitely could have found something else to do, or just not do the movie, or I don't know. Maybe they could have found something a little more interesting and a little bit more crucial. But I still think that, you know, overall it was great to have this time with this community, with these people. I know it is incredibly important to so many people, and so just the fact that they did it, and we got so many deep conversations and moments with these characters, I think it was great. I'm going to give Wakanda Forever a 3 out of 4. Well, guys, let me know what you thought of Wakanda Forever, what you thought of the plot versus the acting, because I think there is definitely like a high and a low there for most people. But yeah, let me know, because I think this is the Guardians holiday special is the last thing in Phase 4, and next year we'll start Phase 5. So let me know how excited you are for the holiday special, because honestly, I think that looks really fun. They're killing it with the Christmas stuff. And then let me know what you're most excited for next year and into Phase 5, because we're getting there. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and Wakanda Forever. I'll see you guys later.